Hello everyone, this is teacher Rejil. In this video, we are going to discuss how to determine the equation of a quadratic function given a table of values. Example number 1. Determine the equation of a quadratic function of the form f of x equals x squared plus bx plus c given the table of values. And the table of values is this one. Here we are going to find the values of b and c. And our strategy here is to use the roots of the function. The roots of the function are the values of x when f of x equals 0, and they are -1 and 2. To find c, we are going to multiply the two roots. So the first root being x sub 1 and the second root being x sub 2, we multiply them. That means -1 times 2, and it's equal to -2. So this is the value of c. To find b, we are going to get the negative of the sum of the two roots. So meaning to say, the negative of -1 plus 2. -1 plus 2 is 1, and we have a negative sign outside the parentheses, so our b is equal to -1. So this b is -1, and this c is -2. So our equation is f of x equals x squared minus x minus 2. Example number 2. Determine the equation of a quadratic function of the form f of x equals x squared plus bx plus c given the table of values. And this is the table of values. Again, we are going to find the values of b and c. And our strategy here is to use the zeros of the function. The zeros of the function are the values of x when f of x equals 0. So the roots are -2 and 5. To find c, we multiply the two roots. The first root being x sub 1 and the second root being x sub 2. So that means -2 times 5, and that is equal to -10. And to find b, we get the negative of the sum of the two roots. That means negative of -2 plus 5. -2 plus 5 is 3, and we have a negative sign outside. That means b equals -3. Now this b is -3, and this c is -10. So our equation is f of x equals x squared minus 3x minus 10. Example number 3. Determine the equation of a quadratic function f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c given the table of values. Now here we already have to find the values of a, b, and c. And the strategy that we used will not work here. So we will use another strategy. Looking at the coordinates, okay, we can see that when x is 0, f of x equals 16. Meaning to say, if we are going to substitute this x's we have here with 0, okay, it becomes a times 0 squared plus b times 0, this expression here will become 0. So that means f of x equals c. And it says here that f of x equals 16. So therefore we can say that c equals 16. Now we need to find a and b. And to find a and b, we need any of the 2 points here. It could be -3 and 10, -2, 0, 2, 10, or 4, 0. For example, we are going to use -2, 0. So this means if we are going to substitute -2 here and also here, f of x equals 0. So we have an equation. Okay, then simplifying this, we will get -16 equals 4a minus 2b. Now, where did we get this 4a? So -2 squared is 4, and then times a is 4a. And this -2 times b is -2b. And this 16 here, when we subtract 16 from both sides, we will have -16 on the left side, which is this one. And now we need another equation, and we can use any of these points. So for example, we are going to use 4, 0. So this means this f of x equals 0. Then we have here this x is 4 and also this one. So we have another equation. A times the quantity 4 squared, then plus b times 4 plus 16. Now simplifying this, we will get -16 equals 16a plus 4b. Where did we get this 16a? So we have here 4 squared is 16 times a is 16a. Then the 4b comes from here. b times 4 is 4b. And this 16 on the right side, if we are going to subtract 16 from both sides, so 16 is on the left side now. Now solving these two equations, we can get either the value of a or b. And suppose we are going to find the value of a, so that means we are going to eliminate b. Okay, so to eliminate b, we are going to multiply this first equation by 2. Okay, so multiply by 2. So 2 times -16 is -32. 2 times 4a is 8a. And 2 times -2b equals -4b. And now we can add these two equations. So this is -16 plus -32, that's -48. And then 16a plus 8a equals 24a. And this 4b and -4b cancels out. So if -48 equals 24a, that means a is -2. So we already have the value of a. Now to find the value of b, we can use any of these equations. For example, we are going to use this first equation here. -16 equals 4a minus 2b. So we know that a is -2. We just substitute this a here with 2. We will get -16 equals 4 times -2 minus 2b. And of course, we know that 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And then in order for us to have the constants on one side of the equation, we can add 8 on both sides. So we have now negative 16 plus 8 equals negative 2b. And of course, negative 16 plus 8 is negative 8 equals negative 2b. And dividing both sides by negative 2, our b is equal to 4. Now, this a is negative 2. This b is 4. And this c is 16. So our equation is f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 16. Example number 4. Determine the equation of a quadratic function f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c given the table of values. And this is the table of values. Here we are going to find a, b, and c. And notice here we don't have zeros. So we could not use the strategy we used in the previous items. Now to find 3 values, we need 3 equations. And we can use any of the 5 points we have on this table. The first point has coordinates negative 2 and 11. The second point, negative 1 and 4. The third point, 1 and 2. Fourth, negative 2 and 7. And the fifth, 3 and 16. So we can just choose any 3. So let us use negative 1, 4 as our first point. So this means this f of x is 4, and then we will substitute this x here with negative 1 and also this x here with negative 1. So we have our first equation. So 4 equals a times the quantity negative 1 squared plus b times negative 1 plus c. And simplifying this, we will get 4 equals a minus b plus c. And for our second equation, we are going to use this point, 1 and 2. So this means this f of x is 2 equals a times 1 squared plus b times 1 plus c. And simplifying this, we will get 2 equals a plus b plus c. And for our third equation, we are going to use the point with coordinates 2 and 7. So this means this f of x is 7, then equals a times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c. Then simplifying this, we will get 7 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. Now we can solve simultaneously equations 1 and 2. So we can subtract. 4 minus 2 equals 2. A minus a is 0. Negative b minus b is negative 2b. Then c minus c equals 0. So we have 2 equals negative 2b. And dividing both sides by negative 2, b equals negative 1. Now, how about A and C? Okay, solving simultaneously equations 2 and 3. Okay, so subtracting equation 2 from equation 3, that means 7 minus 2 is 5, and then 4a minus a is 3a, and 2b minus b is b, and then c minus c is 0, no more. Now, since we know that b is negative 1, so we can change this b, okay, to negative 1. So we have this 5 equals 3a plus negative 1. And adding 1 on both sides of the equation, we have 6 equals 3a. So dividing both sides by 3, that means a equals 2. Now how about C? We can use any of these equations here to find C because we already know the values of A and B. And for example, we are going to use the second equation. That means 2 equals, A is 2 and B is negative 1, so 2 minus 1. So we have this. 2 equals 2 minus 1 plus C. And of course 2 minus 1 is 1, and then subtracting 1 from both sides, so we have C equals 1. Now this A is 2, this B is negative 1, then this C is 1. So our equation is f of x equals 2x squared minus x plus 1. Now I prepared here 2 items for you to practice on. Determine the equation of a quadratic function. The form is f of x equals x squared plus bx plus c given the table of values. This is the table of values. Now here you will just find b and c, then you will already get the equation. For item number 2, determine the equation of a quadratic function f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c given the table of values, and this is the table of values. Now here you are going to find the values of a, b, and c. You can pause the video and try working on these 2 items. If you are done, I can now show you the answer. For item number 1, the answer is f of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 8. And for item number 2, the answer is f of x equals 3x squared minus 2. Did you get the 2 items right? I hope you did. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Teacher Rejil. Keep safe.